We're back this week after a rough outing in week 4, getting Khalil Herbert right, but missing everywhere else. We're trying to get back on track this week 5, and I've got 4 more players that you absolutely should be starting in your fantasy lineups. I'm going to be doing it. We're starting off strong. Quarterback Matthew Stafford. Currently the quarterback 14 in the Football Guys ranks for the week. He is first in the NFL in pass attempts, second in total passing yards, 8th in average depth of target, 9 yards a target, only 3 touchdowns on the year, but that really allows them to be in the area for positive regression. That's what we're going for here. And the Rams would be the first overall in offensive plays per game if they didn't have 45 against the Bengals. They have had 70 or more in every other game this season. Funny enough, the Eagles are 7th in fantasy points allowed to quarterbacks this year. There's 24 from Mac Jones, 30.6 from Kirk Cousins, 8 from Baker Mayfield, and 19.6 from Sam Howell. So let's jump in here and see what we got on the tape from Matthew Stafford, who again is playing fantastic football. This absolute dime to the outside against cover 3 of the Colts is fantastic. On the left-hand side of the offense, we see Van Jefferson, who is going to run out a little bit here, get vertical, and then hit that corner route. Underneath here, Puka Nacua running more of a dig route. Then you have the curl route here. On the right-hand side, you have just kind of a release and go from the tight end, and then motion over. You get a little bit of a chip and out to the flat here. And what we get to see, Matthew Stafford is recognizing that this is going to be cover 3, but watch how they bunch up the offense here and kind of condense the formation so you have offensive players inside this short area of the field, and that brings in the defensive players as well. And when you do that and you can detail your route a little bit like Van Jefferson actually does here, you get what's called this big explosive play, because again, here's that vertical detailing. All right, so you have the widening, these corners have to get depth back here, and then you have the single high safety, so you can attack vertically down the field and then hit that corner where there is nobody over there but space. And Stafford clearly sees, yeah, there's an underneath defender here, but I'm going to be throwing it all the way out here to the sideline. A fantastic throw with anticipation. There's the release. Wide receiver isn't even out of the break yet, on a dime. Doesn't have to run, doesn't have to do anything differently. Fantastic throw. Then we have another throw to Van Jefferson here from Stafford. This is another, you can't put it in a better spot than Matthew Stafford does with all this condensing in the formation in of itself. We've got the outside Puka Nacua running more of this in route underneath. Tight end's going to be running a corner route here, so trying to get a little bit of switch confusion from the Colts. And then we get some more on the right-hand side here. The slot receiver, you're going to see a little bit of a motion down from Tutu Atwell, but slot receiver here is Van Jefferson running to the middle of the field, and then that initial from here is going to just come underneath and kind of stop. You get the running back going out to the flat as well here. So nice little corner route, middle of the field, and then underneath, nice little combo route combination here. And Matthew Stafford, again, you watch his eyes. He's going to open the left side. So initially he goes right and then goes left with his eyes, all right? And what this does is it's going to drag the underneath defender, and then his initial eyes going this way moves open here. So now there's a gigantic middle of the field area that he's going to attack. But it's not necessarily to put somebody there. What it's to do is to drag those defenders out of the way so you can hit Van Jefferson over the middle of the field with a beautifully placed ball in between those defenders. We're going to look at it from the end zone view to see exactly how this breaks down. But here's the eyes to the right, left, standing in the pocket, make a beautiful throw, frozen rope into that pocket right there. Absolutely fantastic throw from Matthew Stafford. And this is to end the game, is to ice the game. We get a little bit of match confusion from the defense here. Look at the bottom of your screen. You see 2 defenders go with that flat route on 3rd down. It opens up Puka Nacua for a big play touchdown. And what I mean by by match confusion is Tutu Atwell first of all is going to take this all the way across the field. And what they're doing is they're going to drop this zone defender here underneath and rotate this safety back. So that puts Tutu Atwell crossing in between both of those safeties, and it's going to take both of them away from the play. But the big concern is down here. It's what ends up happening. So the apex receiver in this is the tight end. That would be going to the flat here. And this is 3rd down and 5, so they're going to end up going to that, which leaves Puka Nacua going vertical and getting into this defensive middle field where there's nobody. So watch the confusion down below. What I mean by match right there, you see someone try to switch off. He's crossing his hands over to try to switch off, and then you can see that after the play is over, he's going to look to his players like, look, I tried to switch with you. This is man match. He's trying to go with them, so he tries to take the underneath the receiver right here. He looks to him and said, you need to go and get that guy. Ends up being a big play touchdown, and Matthew Stafford finally gets one in the end zone there. So I loved to see what the Colts were able to, what the Rams were able to do on offense in this game. And I think that that positive regression is going to be in there for Matthew Stafford. And the way that he's playing right now with Cooper Kupp eventually coming back, it looks like he's going to play this week. That opens up a load of more passing touchdowns opportunities for the LA Rams against the high-scoring Philadelphia Eagles. So Matthew Stafford, for me, is a must start. He's gotten bumped up to quarterback 14 in the ranks. He was originally quarterback 17, but I'm absolutely starting him in a lot of different places this week because he's got a ton of upside against the Philadelphia Eagles. The next guy we're going to talk about is somebody who, really an entire area that people want to avoid, but it's Rashee Rice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, he's a rookie. Yes, the Chiefs wide receivers aren't doing very well. And he's currently ranked wide receiver 44 on Football Guys weekly ranks. He has 5 or more targets in 3 of his 4 games this season, and he's second on the team in targets. That's an impressive thing for a rookie to do in Andy Reid's system. He is 12th in the NFL in yards after the catch per reception, 5.69 yards. They've really worked on getting him involved in that. He has 6 targets in the red zone. It's tied for 31st, but it's also tied for 31st with teammate Travis Kelce. So they clearly see him as somebody in the red zone, in the end zone, to be able to try to get touchdowns. They've really tried to do that in a couple different games this year. And then the last 2 weeks, we've seen his snaps, his target market share, route participation, and alignment move up all the way through his stats. So he's being moved up in everything. He's running more routes. He's being moved around the formation. He's getting more targets. All that has been going up. And the Minnesota Vikings allow the most fantasy points to wide receivers this season. So we're going to have to start a little bit of Rashee Rice here. He's on the left-hand side in this of the offensive formation. So he's right here. And they move motion. Kadarius Toney out, that orbit motion, almost half orbit motion, then he goes out to the flat. And you see Rashee Rice here do a really nice job of stopping in this zone. And then he's going to find that area to the right-hand side is wide open. What I like about this is that early in the season, they were doing a lot of trying to get Rashee Rice to learn the route concepts and how to stop inside zone. So right here, they're just going to run this crossers underneath. And then, like I said, he's going to end up stopping here where he's in between 2 defenders, all right? And then Patrick Mahomes is getting out of the pocket. He sees that and initially starts to move towards the quarterback, okay? Become an outlet to your quarterback. Stops right there. You're going to get a little bit of a pin down from this defensive the linebacker, and then Rashee Rice is going to go around him into open field. Now, the Jets were able to get to him, but this would have been a first down for Rashee Rice, plus maybe a little bit of yards after the catch there. So he's learning the offense well, and they are, like I said, with those 5+ targets in 3 out of 4 games this year, he is being involved in the offense, and they're actually kind of drawing up concepts for him. The Jets come out here in a cover 4 defense, and they are going to go to the backside here, which is a dig route from Sky Moore, and then just this underneath route from Rashee Rice. And they get him into a yards after the catch opportunity. But on this backside here, like I said, there's the dig route. Earlier in the game, Sky Moore here was left open by this defensive back right here. And then underneath, you're going to see him just kind of stop right here. But this time, this slot cornerback goes with Sky Moore. You're going to see him take off there. And really smart job here of recognizing those defensive backs are off from Rashee Rice. He's underneath. There's nobody there. Patrick Mahomes checks the ball down. He gets hit to Rashee Rice for yards after the catch, and he makes Sauce Gardner miss. A long guy like Sauce Gardner is not easy to make miss. And then the play recognition from Rashee Rice is continuing to go up. I mean, like I said, those yards after the catch are really apparent and right now important in the Chiefs offense. And Rashee has been kind of a focal point of that with those 5.6 yards after the catch. Like I said, you're going to see recognition not only from Patrick Mahomes right here, but Rashee Rice, who's running kind of a glance route. A glance route is just basing it off the defense and where you're going, just going to kind of stop right here and look at the quarterback. So 57 here is going to motion to the left on the snap of the football. And then from there, Patrick sees that's gone. Oh, Rashee Rice, eyes, bomb, ball, goom. Ball, and then go. So he's doing a nice job of fitting more and more into what the Chiefs are doing, and he's getting more comfortable recognizing what Patrick Mahomes wants, and the things that he's seeing on the field are matching what Patrick Mahomes wants as well. So that's a very important part of him growing in the Chiefs offense. And right now, this is the first week of bye weeks. You're going to have to start receivers that you're not really comfortable with. And I think this is a really good matchup for Rashee Rice, who's been getting those targets against the Minnesota Vikings defense that's not been very good. And the Chiefs coming off a game against the Jets, who have a great defense and are really looking to get back on track offensively. So Rashee Rice is, tentatively a must start for me this week against the Vikings defense. The next guy we're going to talk about is Gabe Davis, who's currently ranked as the wide receiver 35 on Football Guys weekly rankings, and he scored a touchdown in 3 straight games. His average depth of target is 17.4 yards. That's 8th in the NFL. 8 red zone targets this season, tied for 15th in the NFL. 4 end zone targets as well, so that's tied for 7th. So he's getting the ball down in that red area where you can score touchdowns. That's what we're really looking for here. Buffalo's averaging 34.8 points per game. That's ridiculously bonkers. And, a play, I love him this week, even against a Jacksonville defense that's 19th in fantasy points allowed per wide receivers. So let's go ahead and look at why I'm going to be starting this guy this week. And for me, it just comes down to him continuously being in an offense that's functioning on all cylinders right now. Ken Dorsey is doing a great job utilizing 12 personnel in their run game to get open looks over the middle of the field and down the field. Gabe Davis just running a deep over route here against man coverage, and he's wide open. Yeah, the ball goes to obviously Stephon Diggs because he's going to get a ton of targets. But again, like I said, they are really doing a phenomenal job here of getting the offense into scoring opportunities. This is a very nice play action pass, bringing in those linebackers with the play action front. You get them a little bit downfield, and then also you continue to break open the middle deep part of that field by using those tight ends into the flats. It just stretches the defense horizontally and vertically at the same time. And then you have, like I said, when they attack in the red zone, Gabe Davis is over here on the right-hand side of the offense in the slot, technically. And they do a very nice job here with this jet orbit motion, almost just behind here. Really more of a reverse motion from the wide receiver. And it's going to draw the defense out. They're going to pump fake it to the wide receiver in motion and hit Gabe Davis on the back of it for a touchdown. And like I said, this is all just a fantastic drawn up play. You're going to see the outside receiver, Trent Sherfield's going to attack the safety here, but also bring this DB with him. And then Gabe Davis is just going to pretend like he's blocking up here and then go up the right-hand sideline. And with the receiver hitting to the flat, you have kind of a levels concept where you have a 1 and a 2 and a 3. But this is all 100% a pump fake to bring in any underneath players right there. Pump, boom. And they hit him over the top for a Gabe Davis touchdown. The biggest reason that I'm playing in this week is because Josh Allen is currently on fire. He can do no wrong. He is moving in the pocket. He's stepping up. He is making things happen. He's pump faking and then just kind of throwing back over his arm for a big play to anybody and anybody right now. So Josh Allen, one of the biggest reasons that this hot streak is continuing, in my opinion, this week against the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. And Gabe Davis is typically a hot and cold player right now. You ride the hot streak. The offense started the season on a wrong note against the Jets defense, and right now they are absolutely rolling. So yes, Gabe Davis is a must start for me this week. I believe he's going to put up another touchdown against the Jags, and they're looking to get their offense back going as well. It's not going to be as high scoring as last week from the Bills and the Dolphins, I think, but I still believe that this game is something you want out of Gabe Davis when the attention is going to be on Stephon Diggs. Start him this week. Now, the very last player that we're going to get to talk about today is one I'm excited to finally get to talk about. We got word this week that Breece Hall all of the workload limitations are going to be scrapped. We're going to find out if that's for real or not. But regardless, Breece Hall, who's currently ranked as the running back 17 on Football Guys weekly ranks, is a must start for me. The biggest thing that I'm looking at is that he's being used and is still explosive coming back from injury. So he's second in yards after contact per attempt with 6.16 yards. He's second in yards per attempt, 6.5. He's got 7 tackles avoided on the season. That's tied for 27th coming off of an injury. That's awesome. And he has the second most rushes of 40 plus yards this year with, 2 of them. That's still the explosiveness for him is there. And of course, Denver allows the most fantasy points to running backs this season. So let's go into it. Let's see what he's doing and how the Jets are utilizing him. This, you'll notice, is the very first play of the Jets season. Watch his footwork, okay? It's a little hesitant. It's not as jump cut. It's not as smooth. Again, you can see him work on this inside zone, and he's just a little hesitant. So watch the feet as he gets to the line of scrimmage. They're a little choppy. They're a little trying to stuttery, get around, and then he gets into open field. Really good patience, really good vision there, but he's not 100% yet. And then we flash forward to week 4, Sunday Night Football. They did a fantastic job, really getting him into space, working him. He had 4 targets in this game. He had 3 catches. So that pass catching upsides there for him too. His blocker fell down right there where he might have taken this to the house. But this is a very nice design. What the Jets do here is they're going to take this tight end who was aligned over here and motion him down, and then they're going to snap it when he gets right here, and he's going to become a lead blocker. They're going to pull number 75, and then they're just pitch it to Breece Hall, let him work. And the key here is Allen Lazard blocking down, kind of pinning the defensive end and anybody trying to come back the other way in there and allowing 75 and the tight end to get out and lead block. And then they do a really good job here, again, of making sure they get players on space. So this is, like I said, blocker on a blocker, and then you get 75 in space. So you have 3 defenders on 3 blockers in space, and Breece Hall has the speed to get through there and figure out how he's going to maneuver his way around. That maneuverability is excellent, and this is a really nice tackle from the deep safety there to make sure he doesn't take it for a touchdown. And then we get to compare, all right? The first play we saw was an inside zone. The footwork was a little choppy. This one is an outside zone for Breece Hall. Watch his feet, how non-hesitant they are. He digs in his feet, sinks his hips a little bit, and gets through that cut. So we have the same motion action here, but outside zone. And then watch the shoulders. The reason we know it's outside zone is because he's going to have his shoulders basically right here. If his shoulders are more horizontal and they're more square to the offensive line, it's going to be inside zone. If they turn this way and then they're going for this direction, that's how we know it's outside zone. Does a really nice job here, again, of getting downfield, recognizing that cutback lane. He sees number 50 coming downhill right here, so he's like, all right, I'm going to come right where you were and get upfield for a nice play here. And that's what I wanted to see out of Breece Hall, is just the ability to not be hesitant, use those feet. We can see the explosion is still there, and he's doing a fantastic job of making sure that he's going to be on the field going forward. So Breece Hall is absolutely a must start for me this week. I know you've probably been starting him most of your leagues anyway, but if not, get him back in your fantasy lineups. The Denver Broncos allow the most points to running backs, and he's getting that passing usage again. I think, 4 targets is a good indicator that they want to get him more involved in the passing game, use that explosiveness. So I think Breece Hall can go for a big game against the Denver Broncos. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll be back next week, regardless, with more film for you. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and I hope these do well for you.